Wake up, Detroit. I'm Joanne Watson, and this is your wake-up call.
When a brown girl child is born, the earth shifts. The sun is at half-mast. The moon waits for her first cry. The ancestors set the table. The flowers turn red as blood. This is your land, continent daughter, with tree trunk legs and branches for arms. This is your soil, black and fertile as your eyes facing an apartheid Jim Crow current past memory. Some of us begin the removal of shackles at birth. We grow into the armor of struggle quickly. We brew courage in our tea, blend bravery into our Sunday dinners. Joanne Watson, you understand nation building is not a part-time job. This dedicated life is sometimes lonely, a vulnerable choice, but it is the only way you know how to operate. You are wired for the movement in your black women bones, even when tired, still fighting, still organizing, still singing morning spirituals. You were born to lead, even in your own family, the eldest of 10 children born to Jefferson and Lestine. You made Damon, Nefertari, Stephen, Maya. Her children always knew she was larger than life. When you are a woman in the movement, you take the children with you on the journey. You bring the babies with you to your college classes. When you travel to Ghana for the first time, it will be with your daughters in tow. When you are a fearless, nationalist thinking mama, mothering never stops with your own babies. 30 godchildren and mentees across the globe. The daughter of a ministering mother is already ordained for good trouble. A seer, a prophetic young student preparing for her lifelong role as servant to her own community. When your purse was snatched in a Farmer Jack parking lot many years ago with your kids' tickets to Run DMC in the purse, you made sure they still got to that concert and even hosted Melly Mel and the Furious Five in your living room, because queens make it look easy. When you're a single mom, people will tell you what you can't do. Instead, you move to New York City with all 4 of your C's to do your necessary work with the YWCA, because queens make it look easy. Ghana, Togo, South Africa, where is your heart, Mama Watson? Nurturing spirit, baking melt in your mouth, homemade biscuits. How many hours do you sleep, Warrior Watson, with endless work ethic and blue-collar blood racing through your veins? How do we say thank you for your work, your time, your heart? We know you will never really retire. There is a fire on the path to freedom. There is smoke. There is sacrifice. There are stories of justice, of women, of Tubman, Sojourner, of Angela, Asada, Coretta, and Merle, and Betty, and Queen Mother Moore. Some of us know we are ancient, that our marrow is laced with legacy, that we are here to bring life to our daughters. Sometimes it just takes one woman, a mother, a grandmother, a Spitfire, griot, a sister, the only woman to lead the NAACP's largest chapter. She, daughter of the movement, of Rosa, of Irma. She was a birth that gave birth to possibility for other young activists like me, a true D woman, frontline Fatima, Nigerian blood, councilwoman, leader, truth teller, Joanne Watson, social worker, president of the Anti-Klan Network, sister, inspiration, dedicated to the protection of girls and the voices of women wrapped in West African beauty, regal and resilient. Wake up, Detroit. Wake up, South Africa. Wake up, Cuba. Wake up, small business owners. Wake up, White House. Wake up, reparations. Wake up, teachers. Wake up, women. Wake up, schools. Sleeping is not an option when the Honorable Joanne Watson is in the room.
Wake up, Detroit. I'm Joanne Watson. This is the day the Lord has made. We do rejoice and we're glad in it. I don't know about you, but I can't let one day go by without praising his name. We praise God from whom all blessings flow. We know it is God who made us and not we ourselves. What else is there to do in the morning time but to say, good morning, Lord. We love you, Lord. We praise you, Lord. We honor you, Lord. We worship you and you alone. I'm so pleased and honored that you've joined us for this wake-up call. We have a very special wake-up guest in the house this morning, Mr. David Rankin, who has got some financial information to share, news you can use that will lift us up to higher ground. I want to send a special thank you to Jalen Fuller, who helped access us to this opportunity. He's one of our Wayne County Community College District students who is moving on to another territory as well. So we want to give David an opportunity to talk about his background, his foundation and financial perspectives, and then to share what our people need to know about financials.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me this morning. And thanks again to Jalen. And wake up, Detroit.
Wake up, Detroit.
Wake up, Detroit. That is so consistent with the things that I anticipate us talking about this morning.
That's all right.
Yes.
Now, what got you started on this path?
Just a lot of things that we have been taught to do that may not always work in our favor.
Okay.
Kind of like the Wizard of Oz. You remember the Wizard of Oz? It pulled back the curtain and saw the wizard back there.
Well, he
controlling
wasn't really a
things.
wizard.
Exactly. So there are things that, again, that we've been kind of led a path to do that may not always be consistent for our best interests.
But what led you into this?
That exact thing. Watching
Okay.
people suffer. My belief had always been in the financial industry that if things are so good and things are going so well, why are people having so many problems? And oftentimes when I'm talking to people, they're not familiar with a lot of the past and how a lot of these things have come about. So we take a look at that and we help them to wake up.
Okay. And what special advice, remedies, teachings have you provided to people?
Well, I have become a managing broker for the state of Michigan with Bad Uncle Sam. And we like to call it with Team Rankin, Bad Uncle Sam.
Mercy.
And with it, we are helping people to understand the history and the tax traps that they have been set up for. And most aren't even aware that they're being led down this path. For example, when we take a look at the 401ks and the IRAs of the world, and the generic term being a qualified plan, these plans were established back in the 70s when taxes were about 3 times as much as they are now. And the idea was being able to take some money, sock it away, and defer it out and take a distribution later when income taxes might be a little bit lower. And that's worked really well for our parents. But we're living in a different time now. We're looking at the lowest tax environment that we've ever been in, the lowest exemptions, the most tax deductions, and we may not ever see this again, but what we're being encouraged to do is take those valuable dollars that are at a lower tax rate and sock them away into a future that has a tax that we have no idea what that tax will be. And there's a huge risk with that. But the conversation is, put this money, squirrel it away, and at badunclesam.com, we offer a free tax smart guide to help wake up Detroit. By ordering this guide, it will give you a couple of conversations and videos on some of the things that I've discussed so far this morning.
And when you are talking about a financial perspective, being in a position to try to garner some wealth and stability so you're not at risk and vulnerable, is this something that is useful for people at any bracket?
Yes, ma'am, it is. And it's especially interesting with the younger people that are coming up, age 25, I would say, on up. And part of it is come by the name of Bad Uncle Sam, and I like call my team ranking Bad Uncle Sam. That age group, that younger age group, is very likely to get hit with a tax bill that would not be consistent with the current strategies of today. Even our older people in our age group. Part of the name Bad Uncle Sam came from our Congress, which has a very low approval rating. So, and if our Congress
Well,
Go ahead.
Trump's approval rating is lower than the Congress right now, for the record. Help me, Holy Ghost.
Yes, indeed.
It's going to get lower by the day.
And you know, the thing about that, Trump and even other politicians in their platforms to be elected, most of them talk about reducing taxes. Well, again, we're at a low tax rate right now, but it gets people's attention. And when you take a look at your effective tax rate, when you push that button to finish your taxes, most of us are somewhere around a 12 to 14, 15% tax rate.
Well, why is it that the rich people don't pay anything?
Well, that's a good question. They are familiar with strategies that I'm working with average, everyday, wake up Detroit folk. But rich people manage to flex the law. We saw that with our current administration to be able to, what, $1 billion avoid it? So those strategies, it's amazing to me that folks can get away with that.
It seems so unfair. The poorest people get socked with a heavy burden, and the very rich, that 1%, pay next to nothing, and sometimes nothing.
Absolutely, which, brings us back to that Bad Uncle Sam and getting that tax smart guide that's available at badunclesam.com, because if they're avoiding their taxes, guess who's going to get hit with them? We've got this huge deficit that being piled on. It's as if you take your home, for example. If everything you bought in your home was constantly put on charge card, and every time you needed something, you just raise the limit on the charge card, but don't pay the debt, that debt is going to fall on someone. And that's what's going to happen to us and to our younger children and ancestors and generations to come.
Now, what advice do you give people in terms of saving and investing?
Well, just to be aware of the risks that they might be involved in. And again, the biggest one that gets avoided, doesn't get talked about, is the tax trap. That tax trap is bigger than most people realize. And you touched on it just a second ago with how so some of the wealthy are avoiding taxes.
Oh, the 1%,
Yes.
the
So,
top 1%.
but they're not telling us how to do it. They know when they take a look at their tax bracket, that's a higher return than they can get in any type of investment. So when you can avoid having to pay those taxes, and that's what that tax smart guide at badunclesam.com will help to understand just a little bit. And then you can request a.
That isn't it immoral and indecent for 1% of the top 1% of the revenue to be going to this small stream of people, while the 99% are paying for all of the federal revenues.
And I totally agree with you. And we're not taking a platform of not paying taxes. We should all pay our taxes, but let's be smart about it. So if we're in agreement that we're in the lowest tax environment that we might ever see again, might it not be wise to not take that type of money and put it into a tax deferred and
So you
go ahead.
instead of 401ks, what would you recommend people do?
Well, it's not so much a specific venue to pursue it. That I'd be sued for malpractice just like a doctor would be to say this is a specific route that you should go without knowing enough about that individual.
But in terms of options, would you recommend that people look at investing in a franchise or some business or some revenue stream that will give them ownership?
That question comes to me quite a bit, and it's really a good question. And I typically will answer it first with invest in yourself, be it education, be it something that you enjoy. When you can focus on something that you enjoy and it generates revenue for you, then it's not work. And that's one of the things I enjoy with what I do. It never feels like a day of work. Personally, I don't plan to retire. I'm going to do this until I can't
All
do
right
it
now.
anymore.
What about those persons who have retired, who have pensions, but they want to leave their pensions to continue to earn whatever they can earn, and maybe leave something for their children or their grandchildren? You are among many who suggest that people take a look at that and not just leave it, but let it work for you.
And a pension is a good topic. There's a lot of concern with pensions these days, and I'm not here to say a person should do this or that with their pension.
Yeah, a lot of people are trying to eliminate them.
Exactly, and that's
The
exactly
city of
where I was
Detroit has
going.
cut the pension.
It's difficult for pensions to get the types of returns they need, and it's
So some of the people who are expecting the promise of pensions to be there, they may have their promises unfulfilled.
exactly. My father-in-law worked for the city for years, lived well into his 90s, back when those pensions were paying a robust return.
Sure.
And he was one of those that actually became a strain on that pension by living longer. And longevity is a risk also that we have to face. And again, those things are discussed at that badunclesam.com, and we encourage you to get that tax smart guide.
Now, the notion of really understanding finances and what your footing is not something that should wait until you are middle age or senior. You should get involved in that when you're younger. And shouldn't they
Absolutely.
have classes on that for our school students when they're still in high school or even grade school?
Yes, totally agree. I have done workshops or career days at middle schools and high schools.
Excellent.
And the thing that, and even with my clients, when we sit down and discuss the things that we have been taught to do, and I'm not saying don't do them, I'm just explaining what we're doing. And they'll always say to me, to a person, why don't more people know about this? And it's there, you know.
And even churches. Someone told me last week that a minister friend of theirs was kind of hit below the belt with news. He had always been told verbally that the church was investing in a retirement fund for him. When it became time for him to retire, he inquired about the fund, and everybody started looking the other way.
It's funny you mentioned that. I had that happen. I was invited to a church.
Wow.
To help the pastor to put together something for his future.
Yes.
And it got sabotaged, quite frankly.
Oh, my.
And I should have known better, because they brought in a number of the congregation or the trustees. And then when I started to talk, everybody knew somebody. And we should do this, and we should go here. We need to talk to this person. We need to. I said, okay, I'm done.
So anybody who has been told verbally that there is something being put away for you, they need to check it.
They need to check it. They need to see it, and make sure it's alive. You know what I mean? That it's still there.
Sure.
Yes, exactly. Perfect word. Thank you.
Now, do you have a website, phone number, or email address you'd like people to have access to?
Well, that would be the badunclesam.com.
Okay.
We strongly encourage you. It's a free tax smart guide. There's a cute commercial, 30-second commercial that we're airing on some of the cable channels. And then there's a 3-minute video that kind of talks
Well, y'all should buy some time and air your commercial here.
And we will.
Yeah, the owner of the station is why he watches Wake Up Detroit.
Oh, all right.
So,
well, good morning to you.
Since you've said that, he's going to want to see that commercial aired here, and it's very affordable, and it'll be good for you.
Well,
and it'll be good for us.
And that's also our way of saying thank you for having me on your show this morning. We really, really appreciate it.
Well, it's wonderful to have you, and how wonderful to have someone who's really grounded in a financial perspective that will take our people out of vulnerability, out of move us away from risk and letting somebody else handle our finances. We ought to be self-determined.
Yes.
In terms of our finances. Don't leave our finances up to somebody else.
That's exactly what we are empowering our clients with.
Go ahead.
You take control.
Say
Don't
that.
keep following the leader.
Come on now.
Do your thing.
That's it.
We're going to show you how to take control of
That's
this
it.
and avoid a lot of the risks and things that are out there that we have just been led to do. But take a look at the leader.
Oh, come on now. And sometimes there's something in you that only you can do.
That's absolutely correct.
When I was at the University of Michigan, majoring in journalism and active in the Black Action Movement, we demanded 10% black enrollment, 10% black faculty, and other things. But one of my colleagues, as an undergrad, never graduated from University of Michigan, was Tom Monahan, who was the founder of Domino's Pizza.
Yes.
He had an idea. His idea was, because we were always buying pizzas.
That's right.
Let me take advantage of this. He took his Volkswagen, a cardboard box, painted it like a domino, put it on top of that and had flyers all over the dormitories. So he made the pizzas, marketed the pizzas, delivered the pizzas, and the next thing you know, he's a multimillionaire.
See?
So I'm telling you, he never got his BA degree, but he did miss it.
Well, and I don't think Microsoft, Oh, why am I looking right at them? That's showing my age now.
But there's so many examples of people
Exactly,
who had
exactly.
something deposited
Yes,
in their minds that
Bill Gates.
provided an opportunity for them to not only gain wealth, but also control of their own lives.
And that speaks to when you asked me a little earlier, investing in yourself, what you believe in, and go after it like the air you breathe. If you believe that much in it, you got to go after it that way. It reminds me of a young man that speaks to our group where I met Jalen through the Midnight Golf program.
Yeah,
And he's
I
come out.
love that program.
I do too. I do too. Has been just giving back.
Yes.
You know, when we were coming up, we had things like that for us. I remember Junior Achievement more
Yes,
specifically.
that's right.
And I remember May Petty. If you hear me, May, and if you don't, then that's okay too. But she was a leader for our group. And, you know, we just have to pay it forward. And that's something that I've always tried to do, be it Midnight Golf or other groups that I've been involved in.
Yeah.
And now with being on Wake Up Detroit.
Come on now.
And introducing our good people to Bad Uncle Sam and going out to the badunclesam.com, get your tax smart guide.
All right now.
Will help you to also wake up Detroit.
And he's available to come to block clubs and community organizations and
Absolutely.
churches.
Yes, yes.
Family reunions.
Welcome the opportunity.
Come on now.
I welcome the opportunity.
Let's give your information one more time, David Rankin.
David Rankin, Team Rankin. I have a team of other financial professionals in my group.
Good.
We're available through the badunclesam.com, and my cell phone number, or my Bad Uncle Sam number, is 734-404-7744. But we strongly encourage, get that tax smart guide off the badunclesam.com website.
All
It's
right.
free, and no one's going to beat you up to do anything, but you might learn something.
All right.
And
I know
education.
that they've learned something from David
Oh,
Rankin
bless your
today,
heart.
right here on this wake up call. What a blessing to
Thank
have
you.
you here.
Thank
you
you.
know, we have a need to operate as if we are the center
Yes.
of our financial destiny.
Yes.
It's not up to somebody else. And don't take all your money down to help me somebody, these casinos, thinking your ship is going to come in.
Oh.
There's a reason why
Yes.
the house always wins.
Always wins. You know, the other one is you have so many people that have to play that lottery.
Have mercy.
That's my retirement plan.
Have mercy.
And it amazes me the amount of money that people put into the lottery every day and week. And it for some, it's almost like a bill. And, you know, worst thing can happen is you win a small amount.
Have mercy.
It happened to me years ago, and I kept playing for about a week, and I was like, whoa, I see what's going on with this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't set up for me to win. I just got lucky first time. So I said, no, that's that
No.
is not
No,
what we
they'll
want to
never
do.
get $1 from me. I understand.
Oh, yeah.
From whence my blessings come, they
Yes,
don't come from the
indeed.
lottery or the
Yes,
casinos.
indeed. Yes,
I want to
yes.
thank you, David
Oh,
Rankin.
thank you so much.
God bless you. We appreciate you. And we know some financial windows have been opened because of you.
Amen. Amen.
Bless
well,
your
God bless
heart.
you again, and thank you so much
All
for
right.
having me on your show. And we want to wake up Detroit.
He's using my line. Wake
Yes,
up,
sir.
Detroit.
Don't forget, badunclesam.com. Get your free tax smart guide.
Wait a minute, sugar. Now I got to have the last word
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry.
Wake up, Detroit.